So Thursday afternoon, I was clearing out some brush by my creek, and my tractor stopped. Thought I was out of fuel. Added fuel, no power. So we're about to figure out what exactly happened. All right, here's the tractor that I was using, John Deere 1025R 2018 model. Come to find out, I ended up using the razor to pull it out from the other side of the creek into my garage. And I'll give you a little sneak peek and we'll dive into it here. But as I was pulling it up, I noticed underneath there's a great big branch. I don't know if you can see it, stuck up underneath the underside of the tractor. And come to find out, looking down in there, you can almost see the branch sticking up through the engine compartment. So I'm going to take these panels off and try to figure out what exactly is going on. Turn the key on and she flashes and does all sorts of weird stuff. So I'm assuming something with the electrical got hit by that branch. So gonna take the panels off and dive in a little bit further. Okay, after further quick inspection, you can see a branch got stuck right up in there into the flywheel. Might be a little dark under here, but I think that's what stopped the engine. It wasn't the fuel, but I don't know why the electrical piece is still goofy. So we'll pull this out and see what it does. All right, I got that stick out. You can see as it went up through that flywheel inspection hole, set this down, use two hands here. It actually went up all the way to this part. So this part, just this piece, was hanging out from underneath. You can see how flat that is from when the engine was running. It just ground that all smooth, and that's what was stuck between the flywheel and the engine there. So, however, now that that's out, that's problem one. Problem two, for some reason, when it died, still the same thing. Has a bad connection somewhere or something. So I'm going to put it on a battery charger and see if that does anything. I'm not quite sure. It was running perfect before all this, so I'm not sure why it's doing what it's doing with a bad connection and the dash glitching like that. But I'm going to inspect some wires down there just to make sure nothing got snipped and go from there. Okay, did a fair disassembly. You can see I took the column pretty well loose and got my hands down in here. Here's the wiring harness back here. If I move the camera, you could probably see better, huh? So the wiring harness down here, everything checked out. So I didn't see any broken wires. The loom actually wasn't even ripped. So as I got a little frustrated, I turned over to Google and Googled the symptom. And when I turned the key on, you can see what it does. Sits there and flashes, but if you get it to stay on for a moment, it will eventually pull a code that says pull coil fault. So after looking at that and reading upon a couple of things, they said just replace the battery. So doing all this, I guess better be safe than sorry, but if that's all it was, son of a puck. So I'm going to do that, put this all back together, and go ahead and probably replace the battery and see what happens. One thing I was thinking about as I'm putting this back together was I did mention earlier on that I was going to put a battery charger on this because it sounded like it was not having power when you turn the key on. So I chose to go the other way because when that stick went up into the bell housing, it was just a coincidence, right? It just did not seem as if that the battery was the issue. So if it is, shame on me. I should have done that first, and I would have saved myself a lot of time. But live and learn. It just did not add up with a coincidence of it being a battery when a stick goes through the flywheel. So just wanted to mention that before I keep going and somebody calls me out on it. Well, I think there's hope for just a battery. I have a charger hooked up to it right now. It's been on for about 10 minutes. I turned it on once. Here's what happens. At least everything just comes on. I don't think it's charged enough, but I think that's more confidence to replace the battery. Stay tuned. All right, got the battery installed. Just went to the local John Deere dealer and picked up the same exact one. I ended up having to take the headlights out. It's crazy to get that thing in and out. Don't know if there's an easier way. I didn't check, but I did it. So, moment of truth. That's a good sign. Just off the battery, I'll cycle that glow plug a couple times here. And here we go. I'll be damned. So what are the odds of the battery going bad at the same time as the stick going through the flywheel? In my opinion, very small. But this is what initially went up in between the flywheel and caused so much problems, and then all of a sudden the battery. So at least it's taken care of. On to bigger and better things. I'll probably do some updates on a couple of projects that I'm going on, specifically maybe the truck or parts of the truck. But all right, mission accomplished on this one.